Hey, what's up guys? Back with another video, and today we're just going to be talking about the relative, danger in the fact of buying a used video card. So if you are buying a used video card, there are a lot of cards that are used now that are just dying on the market, and that's making it so, you buy a used video card and maybe it does die on you within a couple of days. And so I came up with this chart and I did some research and I found some interesting results on about a half a dozen, 2 dozen, about 2 dozen cards or so that I just looked up on eBay. So if we look here on the left side of the screen, take a look. Basically, I searched here for an RX 580, and then I added up the used cards that are out there with the 4 parts not working, so the broken ones, and then I divided the total cards, or I divided the broken cards by the total to get the amount of failed cards out there. And then that's kind of how I calculated all of the failure rates I have here on the right side of the screen, which is here. Now I full screened it so you guys can see. That's how I calculated all of these from eBay. And yeah, it's pretty shocking. So the RX 470 has a failure rate of 18.8 cards of the cards that are secondhand sold on eBay. Of course, this should be taken with a grain of salt. These data points are probably, a few thousand cards, but I think it paints a decent image of buying used and the risk. So clearly, from the cards I looked up, the RX 470 is probably one of the, sketchiest cards you can buy that might fail on you, because it's got a failure rate of 20% of listings on eBay were just RX 470s that straight up failed. Now, I'm not saying that our 1 in 5 RX 470s is bound to fail, but it seems like on eBay most of the cards are 20% have been failed and are being sold. So the actual number could be way higher. And the RX 470 and the RX 580 and 480 and 570, they're all known for being big mining cards. They're cards that miners bought, and so that shows a significant trend in failure rates, that the RX 470 and these cards here, gamers did buy them, but a lot of people did mine on them, so they do have higher failure rates. And then if we look at the 1070, that has a similar failure rate to a 570, a couple percentage points less. A lot of people did mine on GTX 1070s as well. I've seen plenty of eBay listings where people mine on GTX 1070s. And I should also note in here, when I'm doing these GTX 1070s, I'm doing GTX 1070 and also GTX 1070 Ti. Same thing with the 2080 and 2080 Super. Same with them with the 2070 and 2070 Super. I just searched each of these terms, and these are the failure rates. So these do include the Super or the Ti versions in them, in the failure rates that I'm discussing here. So yeah, in terms of, except for the RX 6600, I just did a search solely on that, and I separated it out just to see what RX 6600 cards were failing. So yeah, in terms of the 970, only 9% of the eBay listings where 4 parts are not working or failed. 27 also 9%. Surprisingly, the RX 5700, a big card that a lot of miners are using, but only 7% of the listings are actually broken cards. And a lot of this probably does have to do with warranties and stuff. Most 2080s, I shouldn't say all, but most 2080s are already out of warranty. Pretty much all 1070s are out of warranty. All the 570s, 480s, 580s, 470s, they're all out of warranty cards. And 2060s are still being sold. So there's probably a decent amount of 2060s that still have a valid warranty, and some GTX 1050s are still being sold. But these cards are long established, and there are a lot of cards out there that don't have warranties. GTX 950, definitely this is a more reliable card. If you think about like risk of buying a used video card and the price, you can get a 950 for about 70 to 100 bucks. So I think that it's one of the least risky in terms of cards you can buy now. And then surprisingly, the GTX 3060 and 3060 Ti are up at 3.73% of the cards sold on eBay were for parts not working. Kind of weird because this card is less than a year old and they all have valid warranties. So maybe that points to miners flashing a new VBIOS or doing an LHR unlock, and so they push the card super hard. They couldn't RMA it, or they think they can't RMA it, so they're just gonna sell it. They're just gonna sell it on eBay. 6700 XT is at 2%, and the RX 6600 at 0.85%. There's not that many cards for the RX 6600. It was like 200 or 300 cards have been sold on eBay in basically the last 60 days. It's not very many cards. So that's probably why the RX 6600 looks so good in this chart. But it clearly shows that, I would probably look at buying an RX 6500 XT if I have an Alder Lake PCI Gen 4 system. I would think, because the RX 6500 XT, it only has 4 gigabytes of RAM, but at the same time, these failure rates are pretty shocking. I wouldn't want to spend 200 bucks on any one of these cards when I could get an RX 6500 XT. You could pick one up used, maybe 220, 250, and you still have a valid manufacturer warranty. So yeah, definitely something to think about. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.